Did I say that before? Yeah. Take 8. Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program on this Wednesday, October 28th, here from the studios of IndianCountryTV.com. My name is Paul Demain. Many of the stories viewed here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com or check out the TV station at IndianCountryTV.com. Here are the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Michael Cabote, an American Indian artist whose colorful paintings reflected traditional Hopi life, has passed away. He was 67. Cabote's 22-year-old daughter, Meg Adake, says her father became ill several weeks ago and passed away last Friday at a Flagstaff hospital of H1N1 flu and related complications. Earlier this year, Cabote was a winner of a juried competition at the Heard Museum in Phoenix, Arizona. The museum's website says Cabote was to be the featured artist at the annual Heard Museum Guild Indian Fair and Market this upcoming March. Cabote's daughter says her father lived in Second Mesa, a community on the Hopi Reservation in Arizona where he was raised. The Stockbridge-Munsee tribe in Wisconsin has experienced a change in leadership as a result of tribal elections held last week. The election drew the second highest number of voters in the tribe's history and resulted in the election of a new tribal president, Kim Veely. She replaces the incumbent president, Robert Chicks, who has held the office for the past 12 years. Veely is an attorney and a former associate judge for the tribe. New incoming treasurer Doug Huck will be replacing Terry Terrio, who held that seat for 11 consecutive terms, equaling 26 years. Huck served this last year as a member of the tribe's council. He is a former legislative attorney for the Stockbridge-Munsee Band of Mohicans. Incumbent Stockbridge-Munsee Tribal Vice President Greg Miller was reelected to his post. Council incumbents Jolene Bowman and Joe Miller held their seats on the council. Also elected were Scott Veely and Craig Cronin Sr. North and South Dakota are getting a total of more than $24 million in federal assistance to help needy families pay their heating bills through the rest of the calendar year, as both states' energy assistance programs appear in good shape ahead of winter, according to the Associated Press. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said North Dakota is getting about $6.8 million and South Dakota about $17.2 million for the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, which helps eligible families to pay the cost of heating and insulating their homes in the winter and cooling their homes in the summer. State officials say that they also raise smaller amounts for tribal-specific programs. The money is for October, November, and December. Total allocations for the fiscal year have not been announced, but officials in both states say they are confident they'll have enough money to meet this winter's demand. Key Bank and Raymond James Tax Credit Funds, Inc. have partnered in a multi-million-dollar deal that will generate 66 much-needed affordable homes on the Tulalip Reservation in Snohomish County, Washington. The deal solidifies each party's commitment to the Tulalip Native American community, which is working hard to solve a housing shortage for more than 225 families. Key is investing $7.3 million of low-income housing tax credits in the project, and the deal is the second transaction in the 5-year $50 million Native American Housing Opportunities Fund 2 program. The fund was created in the year 2007 between Key and Raymond James. As the fiduciary of the Key's investment, Raymond James has underwritten the deal and will manage and regulate the transaction on Key Bank's behalf. The Denver chapter of the Susan G. Komen Foundation has created a fundraising auction to help to fight breast cancer, and we ran a news read on this earlier. Several journalists, including Hopi journalist Patty Talahungva, decorated their bras in order for them to be auctioned off as part of the fundraiser. You can find more information on the bra art exhibit by going to www.braart.org and clicking on the bra gallery, clicking to page 6 and scrolling down to bra number 30 entitled, I can't say that in Hopi because I'm not a Hopi, excuse me, but it means good life. From there you can click Make Bid and it'll take you to a site called 32 Auctions where you can make a bid. You will have to create an account in order to make a bid on that bra, and we're going to run that down on the frontier in the future in the program on a little read, so you got that website and everything else you need to get to that site. The bra was created and painted with the help of Chickasaw artist Peter Parr with a beautiful mesa scenery. Again, to go to that site online, you can go to www.brawart.org or go to www.32auctions.com and search Braw Art. The University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee has established an Institute for American Indian Education. It's named for a Stockbridge Mohican woman, Electa Quinney, who is also a Wisconsin educator. David Bolio is a professor of educational policy and community studies at UW-Milwaukee School of Education. He will head the Electa Quinney American Indian Education and Policy Studies Institute, which is still in the planning stages. He has previously served as president of the National Indian Education Association. He was also the director of the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Indian Education from 1997 to the year 2001. In a news release, he says the Institute's research, service, and learning opportunities will focus on American Indians and on non-Indians interested in working with tribal communities. Alaska has its first director of education. Juneau School Board member Phyllis Carlson has been selected for the position. Governor Sean Parnell made the announcement at the Alaska Federation of Natives Convention in Anchorage last week. Carlson served as director of the Vocational Training and Resource Center of the Central Council Tlingit and Haida Indian Tribes of Alaska. She has also managed the Central Council's Johnson O'Malley Native Education Program. Carlson says she's excited that the administration has decided to focus on rural education. She begins her new job in November. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country. On this edition of the Native News Update, we want to say Wawanan, Pinagigi, Yaweko, Miigwech, and plain old thank you for joining with us again. Stop in again soon. Okay?